James sat quietly in his favorite chair by the window, his leg propped up on a cushion. The injury that ended his construction career had never healed properly. Years of lifting, bending, and never complaining had finally caught up to him. After the accident, the doctors said he would walk again, but the pain never left. Disability insurance was the only income he had left. He used to be the provider, the dependable one, the man everyone called when something broke. Now, he needed help for the smallest things. Still, he smiled. He lived with his wife, Karen, and their 2 children. Karen used to be warm, full of laughter and light, but over time, she became distant. The house buzzed with activity, but it never reached him. The kids rarely sat with him unless they needed something. Karen always seemed too busy. Grocery lists, school fees, phone bills, all somehow made their way to him. Every dollar from his insurance disappeared before he even saw it. He never asked questions. He trusted them. Family meant everything to him. He thought love was automatic in families, something constant and unbreakable. But small things began to chip at his belief. Forgotten meals, unopened medicine, silence where there used to be warmth. Once, he asked Karen if she could sit with him and just talk. She said she was too tired and had laundry to do. She never came back to finish the conversation. Birthdays passed quietly. Holidays felt hollow. His daughter, Mia, once told him she needed a new phone because her old one was too slow. He gave her the money without hesitation. She never said thank you. His son Daniel asked for help with a school trip. James was happy to contribute. But no one asked if he needed anything. His wheelchair was old and made strange noises. He mentioned it once. No one said a word. One day, he overheard a conversation between Karen and a friend. They were laughing. Karen said she did not know how they would survive without his check. She said he was more useful now than he ever was before. The words stung like ice water down his back. Her friend laughed, called him her broken lottery ticket. James sat in silence for hours that night. He tried to ignore it. Maybe it was just a joke. Maybe she didn't mean it. But once he opened his eyes, he saw everything differently. The smiles were thin. The kindness felt rehearsed. The love he believed was unconditional had terms and limits. He had become a resource, not a person. A silent sponsor of a family that no longer saw him as a father or husband. He did not get angry. He just felt heavy. The kind of weight you carry in your chest. But even in his sadness, he kept loving them. He woke up early to help with school forms. He stayed up late to listen if anyone wanted to talk. But they never did. One evening, he asked Karen if they could go for a walk together. She sighed and said, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. He tried to talk to the kids, asked about their day, their dreams, their fears. They responded with nods or short answers, eyes glued to screens. Weeks passed. James saved a little money from what was left of his check. He bought a new pair of shoes for Daniel and left them by the door. He got Mia the art supplies she once mentioned. Neither said anything, not even a smile. The loneliness grew louder. He felt invisible in his own home. He was surrounded by people, yet entirely alone. One afternoon, his insurance paperwork arrived. He realized that his benefits would continue for years, but he also noticed something else. If he moved into assisted living, his care would be fully covered. Meals, medicine, everything. It would cost him nothing. And for once, he thought about what it would feel like to be cared for, not used. He made the decision quietly. No speeches, no guilt. He packed a small bag and called a taxi. When he left, no one noticed. The house was full of noise, but no one called his name. He left a note on the kitchen table. It said he loved them, that he always would. But he had learned something hard, that love without respect is not love, that giving without being seen is not kindness, it is surrender, that a person, even when broken, deserves to be whole in someone's eyes. He said he was not angry, just tired, and ready to live the rest of his life where he felt human again. At the assisted living home, things were simple. Staff greeted him by name. Meals arrived on time. Nurses asked how he was feeling. No one expected him to provide. No one handed him bills or made him feel like a burden. For the first time in years, someone held his hand without asking for anything. He spent his mornings reading in the sun. Sometimes he painted. Sometimes he just listened to the wind. There were other residents who shared stories, laughed loudly, and treated him like he mattered. Months later, Karen called. She asked why he left, said the kids were confused, asked what they were supposed to do without him. James listened quietly. Then he asked her a question. He asked her when was the last time she told him she loved him just because he was him, not because of a check. She went silent. Mia called once. She said school was hard and things at home felt weird without him. James told her he missed her, but asked her if she ever thought about who he was outside of being her wallet. She started crying. He listened, but he did not return. He began to write letters, not to them, but to himself, letters of honesty, of healing. He wrote about the difference between being needed and being valued, about how easy it is to mistake habit for love, about how sometimes family can forget to see the person behind the role. He found peace, not because he was away from them, but because he had finally chosen himself. He still loved them, he always would, but now he loved himself too. He no longer waited for birthdays to be remembered. He baked his own cake. He invited others to join, and they came. They sang. They laughed. And for the first time in a long time, so did he. James was not bitter. He had no room left for bitterness, only quiet strength and soft hope. He learned that love, to be real, must be gentle and mutual, and that sometimes the hardest thing you can do is walk away not to hurt others, but to stop hurting yourself. And so he lived, not as a provider, not as a forgotten man in a corner, but as James, a man worthy of kindness, a man who found dignity not in being needed, but in being known.